It may only be the third game of our league season today, but the outcome of today's episode could decide whether or not we're going to go and win Serie A for a second year in a row. Hello and welcome to part 38 of the Milan mission. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we are away against Juventus in Serie A, the biggest game of our season in the league, and then we get our Champions League campaign up and running against Basel, who I think we played 2 years ago, or maybe even in the Europa League last year. I don't remember when we played them. Other teams in our Champions League group, we'll have a quick look at that while we're all paying attention to it. We've got Real Madrid and Marseille, so it's quite a tough group. If we navigate that group, I'm feeling fairly confident. Certainly the Real Madrid games will be a good indicator of how far we've come as a club. Since you were last with me, we've only played the one game. It was a 1-1 draw away against Livorno. That was also an indication of how far we've come as a club, and was worrying. The media have got Juventus as favourites for today's game. We'll see, won't we? Kurt Zouma's out injured. He's going to be out for a month or so, just as I was saying in the last episode, that backup defenders aren't needed. We've got all these midfielders who can play back there as well. So that's what we're going to be doing today. The 11 to play against Juventus is Jack Butland in goal, a back four of George, Romagnoli, Bazoa covering for Zouma and Makey. Midfield is going to be Kovacic and Mauri. Gonzalo. I know you've all told me how to say it. I'm never going to learn. Gonzalo, I think it is. Gonzalo Guedes is fit again, so he comes in to the front four. And the current incarnation of it is this one. I expect it to move around a lot, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get Luan back into it, but we're certainly starting with Dybala, Lamar and Guedes behind Barbosa. Who knows how it's going to end up. That's probably, that's the difficult part of the job at the moment. Oh, poor Kev can't decide which of his world-class players to play in which position. Well, yeah, it's tricky, This isn't there. Bear in mind, most of my 20-plus year history of Football Manager games has been toiling around in the lower leagues. I'm not used to this. We had that few seasons at Man City in non-league to legend when we had loads of money and loads of good players, but they were kind of all already there when I arrived, and they all already had a system that they played in positions. Well, we're already 1-0 down, goodness me. So I kind of just had to steady the ship and carry on with what they already knew how to do. This is a team I've built, and I may have overloaded with silly, talented South American players who we've got too many of them to fit in, and now I don't know who to play where. None of them are a real out-and-out striker, but we've got lots of players who can play up front but also play wide or deep, and I'll figure it out, but I don't think this is the right combination. Maybe it could be. I feel like Dybala should probably be up front, but Barbosa has just scored. It doesn't count. It's an own goal. It's a cracking effort from there. He did score in the Livorno game as well. And this is a good effort. So it sort of bounces off Dybala, and Barbosa hits the crossbar. It comes back and hits Zila in the back of the ankle and crosses the line. Who cares how it went in? It's 1-1 after 6 minutes. It's gone down as an assist for Barbosa. Yeah, we'll take that as an assist. He thunders it into the crossbar and it goes down as an assist somehow. Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps Dybala up front is the right way to do it. Move Guedes back over to the other side. Barbosa can then drop out onto the wing. I guess what we could do is, I know it's got that option where you can have the players rotate in the match, but you can't rotate sort of 3 players around different positions, I don't think. And that's kind of what I want to do. And I don't want to have to keep doing it manually. That sounds like a lot of hassle. But I'd like, at various points, Barbosa and Dybala to sort of swap places up front, but when that happens I want Guedes to swap from wing to wing as well. So when Barbosa is playing on the wing, I want him on the right with Guedes on the left. When Dybala's on the wing, I want him on the left with Guedes on the right. And I don't think there's a way to get it to do that intelligently. I'm not going to be bothered to do it myself every 5 minutes in the match. So I'll keep fiddling. If anyone knows of a way to do that, let me know down in the comments. Guedes is on a brilliant run here. He's beaten about 3 men, finds Barbosa. It's 2-1. That was the 3 superstars we've just been talking about combining, because Dybala hit an early pass to Guedes. Guedes just used his pace and skill and beat everybody in the Juventus team and placed that pass perfectly onto the end of Gabriel Barbosa's outstretched boot. He is putting a strong argument together today for none of this swapping and changing lark. Just make him the main man up front and everyone else can fall into place behind him. Guedes beats 2 men again, finds Lamar to Makey with the cross. Dybala's in. He's scored against his old club. That's his first league goal for AC Milan, and 3-1. This is Juventus away, can I remind you. It looks like they've had a bit of an accident over there on that stand. I assume that was deliberate, and it's not just fallen down. But there you go, Dybala giving himself a little clap. I've never seen that in Football Manager before. I guess they are redeveloping, so they've knocked it down. That's awesome. How very clever. Right, here you go. Let's make it 4 before half-time. Oh, Romagnoli, 2 very good efforts to do so. And we're making Juventus look a bit average at the moment. Why couldn't we do this against Livorno? I don't understand our team sometimes. We've talked about it in the comments before. When we play against good teams, we look like world beaters. When we play against a dross, we look like dross ourselves. I think we've got a lot of too many superstars. Probably we've got Galacticos syndrome. Is that what they used to call it at Real Madrid? They all think they're world superstars, and they're not going to lower themselves to playing against the lower half teams. And they all expect one of the others to go in there and do the dirty work in those kind of games. But they stick them against Juventus or Barcelona or Manchester United or whoever it might be, and they look incredible. We just need to figure out a way to sort out their heads so that they do it week in, week out. Because I've never had an unbeaten season in all my years of Football Manager. And I do kind of think it would be a nice way to end this series, because we are looking at an exit strategy now. We're probably into the last season. I think we might have already become European superpowers again, because we're 4th favourites according to the bookies for the Champions League. We won the Europa League last year. We're champions of Italy. That's probably Europe. We've just spent £200 million on a player with world record. We've probably broken that world record a couple of times now. I think we're probably a European superpower again, aren't we? I think that counts. So it would be nice just to finish it off with a Champions League win and maybe an unbeaten season. There you go. We're moving everything around again. So we've moved Dybala into the middle behind Luan. Guedes is going to come over here as a winger. I know he should be an inside forward. I know you all keep telling me, but I don't like having 2 inside forwards at the same time. And Barbosa is better at it than Guedes is. So Guedes just has to make do with being a winger. So that gives Lamar a chance to have a little bit of a rest. Danilo comes on in midfield today. Could have just as easily been Emre Can. Bizarre is obviously already on at centre-back. And the big job is going to be keeping everybody happy. We've just registered all our squads for the different tournaments. Benzema is not registered for Serie A, but he is registered for the Champions League. And I've not registered Rashford or Iozo Perez for the Champions League. So backup striker rotation, ahoy. Right, let's bring Emre Can on now. There you go. So Danilo and Emre Can in midfield to close out the match. I mean, he's a Champions League winner who's just cost us £40 million plus. How much longer is he going to be happy with being a bench warmer for? I need to learn rotation. I don't really know how to do it, but we need to do proper rotation this season if we're going to stand any chance at all of keeping everybody happy and winning everything, which is obviously what we want to do. Butland with a good save. So yes, Jack Butland's still in goal. Yeah, Donnarumma, nothing. Jack Butland is the man. He's going to go down in history as the AC Milan legend, Jack Butland, who was a panic buy who thought we never thought he'd still be here now, but I genuinely think he's a better keeper than Donnarumma. I may have broken Donnarumma. That's a debate for the comments most episodes, but he's not good enough. There you go. We'll put that out there. Yes, we beat Juventus. That was terrific. And now I think we've got our first Champions League game, and hopefully we'll win that too. Possibly with a rotated side, maybe. There you go. It's rotated-ish. Your man Donnarumma's coming in goal. He's 20 years old now, and this is why he's not playing week in, week out. 2.5 star current ability, 3.5 star maybe potential ability. he's no better than Jack Butland, and without the experience and without the 5-star potential that we all get excited about, I don't know, he's just not a great keeper. He might become one still. He's still only 20, but he's not going to become one in this save because he doesn't have long enough. In the defence, De Chilio comes in for his first game back at the club at the expense of Makey, who drops down to the bench. A little bit of rotation there. Bonaventura comes into midfield alongside Maori for the same reason. We're not messing with the front four today, just because I want to see them continue playing together. We've got Benzema and Milan on the bench who can come on if needed, but I don't want to mess too much with what is still a front four trying to learn to play together. Yeah, Makey's just being rested. Don't need to worry about that. Goodness me, the media get excited about these things, don't they? So, De Chilio back in an AC Milan shirt. Who thought they'd see that? Right, Guedes, cross. Can he whip it? Oh, cool. It hit Dybala, I think. And we almost scored in the first 20 seconds. De Chilio showing why we spent £10 million to get him back at the club. That was something else. Right, De Chilio again, Maori, Bonaventura. It's like old school AC Milan playing together here. It's all the OG Milan players. Maori out to De Chilio again. Cross comes into Dybala, forces a save out of their keeper, and everything calms down for a little while. According to the media, the last time we played Basel, we actually lost against them. I'm assuming that was towards the end of the group stages, and we did a big rotation thing and let them beat us. Were we actually outplayed by this lot? Right, Dybala can't find George. That was poor. He drifted a long way infield as well. He's supposed to be playing on the left wing, but I mean, he does get about a bit. Bonaventura out to George. Cross comes in. Barbosa is in again. He is enjoying playing as a centre forward. We might have our 30-goal-a-year striker that we thought we'd spent £200 million on in the summer. And we, in a roundabout way, we might have got there, because bringing Dybala in means Barbosa could go up front. And yeah, now he's banging in the goals for fun. I like it. So that puts us top of our little group. Cool. Marseille are beating Real Madrid at the moment. This is ridiculous. Is this the same Real Madrid side that exists in the real world? I know we're a little bit in the future, but have they got rid of all their players? Right, Dybala with the corner. Lamar going the wrong way, and that was a poor pass. I mean, he was our star man last year. He's had a slow start to this season, though. And Basel are in, and Donnarumma makes a meal of it, but just about keeps hold of it. And, yeah, just kick it up to the front four. They've all got magic in their feet. It doesn't matter which one of them it lands on. And it looks like we're going to be going in at half-time. 1-0 up, and that is perfectly acceptable. Oh, Romagnoli's captain today. I like it. I mean, he must have played a few games for us now. How old is he at this point? Still only 24. Played 41 games for Italy, though. And 150-odd league games for Milan. He's done all right, isn't he? I mean, here you go. Here's one for you. Let me know down in the comments. How did he end up an AC Milan player? Why was he never a regular for Roma? I guess he had a good season on loan at Sampdoria, and then AC Milan spent 18 million quid on him. A player who hadn't really played for Roma. I don't understand transfers in Italy. Talk me through the Alessio Romagnoli transfer story down in the comments. There's bound to be experts amongst you who can tell me all about that. I could look at Wikipedia, but by the time I finish this video, I'll forget. Whereas you letting me know in the comments will just be a nice little reminder to that time I sat in the garage talking to myself and someone eventually responded. Right, Lamar, way far forward. I don't know what he was doing up there. And again, he's struggling with the new arrangements up front. And it's weird because he's the only one playing in the same position he was in last year. Although we have swapped the role he's doing. He was a playmaker last year. He's now an attacking midfielder, which apparently, according to my assistant manager, he's better at. But he seems to be struggling to recapture the world-beating form that he was in for most of last year. Romagnoli has missed his header completely there, and that was just poor. That was awful. We need to see that in 3D, and I think he's just completely misjudged the flight of the ball. Yep, completely. Donnarumma should do better. I mean, yeah, he's dived well after the ball's gone past him. A man of his size, you shouldn't be squeezing the ball past him in that kind of situation. But Romagnoli, all the blame goes with him. I like to blame Donnarumma because he's my scapegoat. But yeah, oh, Dybala, was that a crossbar or a good save? It was a great cross from Guedes. We need to bring We need something. Lamar and Dybala, I think they're both going to come off. We're gonna bring on Luan and Benzema, and we're just going to move everyone around a little bit and see what happens. We really are moving everybody around. I think this is what we're going to end up doing. We'll make him a winger. Benzema feels like he wants to be a playmaker, and Barbosa as an inside forward. There you go. Give that a try. We need a goal, really. We can't be drawing at home against the weakest team in the group to open up our Champions League campaign. This is what we were talking about in the last game, though. We were brilliant against Juventus. We come and play against someone who shouldn't even be in our league. We should be putting this lot away 10-0, and we're making such hard work of it. Why can't we just be as good as we were the other day? Right, Barbosa. I mean, the big guys just haven't turned up today. I don't really know who to bring on now. I want to take Barbosa off, but there's no one who's going to be a positive influence to bring on. Bonaventura, I guess, could push forward, and we could bring... Yeah, we'll do that. I need to make a point to these players that it's not okay, the uselessness that they subject us to. Right, so Bonaventura, we know he can score goals as an inside forward out there. We know Guedes as a winger on that side can whip in across. We'll swap these two round. No, we'll swap these two round. There we go, that's what we were trying to do. And I don't know, we need a Bonaventura special. He doesn't have a problem playing against rubbish teams because he knows he probably should be playing for one. He knows he's clinging on to his squad spot at AC Milan by the skin of his teeth, and will do everything he can to take opportunities when they present themselves, but he's not going to do it today, is he? We need one of his specials, and it's not going to come. Guedes doesn't get to the ball. Kovacic, no. De Chilio, Benzema. I'm just saying players' names. They're not actually doing anything with the ball, and that's just poor. We've made this Champions League campaign already, one game in, a lot harder than it needed to be. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.